All right, throughout the whole exercise you have this triplet figure. Okay, and while you play it, you're just going to use P, I, and M on the right hand. Okay, so the thumb is always playing the bass note, and then the I and the M are always going to play on the first two strings. So the thumb is what's moving around, and then the index finger is always going to play the second string, and then the middle finger is always going to play the first string. And then you're just kind of alternating between some chords. When you learn it, first learn the bass line. So for example, look at measure 1. You have a C going to a G, back to a C, and then a G again. So when you're looking at the music, learn the quarter notes that are pointing down. Those are your bass notes. The ones marked P. P is for the thumb. Okay. So you have, learn that first. For example, measure 1, you have a C, G, C, G. Okay, once you can get that with the thumb, you're having to go from the 5th string to the 3rd string, 5th string, and then 3rd string. Once you can get that movement, then go back and then figure out what I and M are on that triplet figure, which, if you look, it's C and E. So you have C right here on the 2nd string, 1st fret, and then the next note that follows is E, which is your open string. Okay? So as you play, just make sure that this index finger is right on the 2nd string, and your middle finger is right on the 1st string. So you have this for the measure 1. Again, it goes like this. If you notice, the thumb is just is going like 5th string, 3rd string, back to 5th string, and then 3rd string. The other fingers are just in place on the 2nd and 1st string. So that first measure is a C chord, so you can put your fingers in the shape of a C chord, and you can play that. Go on to measure 2. You have an A. So it goes with the low A on the 5th string, and then it jumps to the A on the 3rd string, 2nd fret. If you look at the I and M fingering, it's still a C and it's still an E. So here's the 2nd measure. Learn that bass note first, and then learn the next notes that follow, the C and the E. Going on to measure 3. Oh yeah, 2nd measure, that's a A minor chord. Okay, so you go from a C chord in measure 1 to an A minor in measure 2. Going on to measure 3, you have D, A, D, A. Those are your bass notes. Then if you look at the next notes that follow, you have a D on the 2nd string and an F on the 1st string. So that's the shape of a D minor chord. It's going to sound like this. Going on to measure 4. Now you have G and G in the bass. A low G on the 6th string, and then a G on the 3rd string, back to the G on the 6th string, and then G on the 3rd. And then the inner notes is the 2nd string open, B, and 1st string, F. That's the G7 chord. So measure 4. The thumb is just moving from the 6th string to the 3rd, back to the sixth, back to the third. Okay, going on to measure 5. For half the measure you have C, then G, and then it goes to A, and then A. So it's like measure 1 and 2 condensed into one measure. So you have a C, G, this is the bass note, C going to G, and then on beat 3 you switch to A, and then A on the third string, fifth string to the third string. So measure 5 goes like this. You have C, then you have another C, and then you have an open E, and then the bass note goes to a G, then you play C with the index, and then E with the middle finger. The second half of measure 5, you're going to go to an A minor chord, right? So you're going to play an A on the 5th string, C, E, then the thumb will play the A on the 3rd string. So that's measure 5. Going on to measure 6. Measure 6 is the same as measure 3. It's just a D minor chord. Your bass note is D, going to A, going back to D, and then A again. So here's measure 6. Going to measure 7, you have a C with a G in the bass. So the G is in 6th string, 3rd fret. Okay, so play that. And then thumb is going to play the G on the 3rd string. And you still have the C and the E. C on the 2nd string and E on the 1st. So measure 7. And then halfway through measure 7, you're going to switch to a G7 chord. On the left hand, all you're going to do is you're going to shift the first, your first finger on the left hand is going to move from the C on the 2nd string to the F on the 1st string. And the bass note is playing a low G on the 6th string, and it's jumping up to the G on the 3rd string. So measure 7 is going to sound like this. So measure 7, you're just moving this finger from here down to there. That G on the bass, go ahead and keep their finger there. Alright, going on, last measure. You're going to go back to your C chord. Your thumb is going to play the C, then it's going to go to the G, and then it's going to come back to the C. So this is what you have on the thumb. And then rest. Okay? And that's it.